Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about what is Bitcoin doing right now. This will be a weekly analysis. So let's get it. So basically, what I'm going to go over with you guys today is pretty much what Bitcoin's doing in comparison to the Bitcoin cycle top indicators. Why am I bringing this up in this video? Well, the reason being is because at some point the crypto market will end up topping out. We are closer to the bull run than we are further away. As you guys can see, we had this huge bear market here. So this was in November of 2021. We are now in November of 2023. And the halving will be in 5 months from now. And then if history repeats itself, I would say chances are pretty good we could see Bitcoin pushing all-time highs in November of next year. So as you guys see here, so basically the halving, you can look this up for yourself on basically type in Bitcoin halving, you'll see it. But the halving was in May of 2020. And then, so we have this previous cycle peak here, the 2017 peak. You guys can see pretty clearly on the chart here that we started pushing up to Bitcoin's all-time high right around that November, December timeframe. And, well, actually, we're not going to do it in this video. We can go back even further on previous cycles before that to kind of prove the thesis there. But basically what I'm saying at this point is if history repeats itself from the previous cycles, we pretty much have a month, or not a month. We have a year to accumulate before Bitcoin starts pushing all-time highs. So with that being said, let's get into the top indicators. As you guys can see here on the chart, immediately you'll notice that we have broken previous resistance here. Why is this a big deal? Because this is multi-month, multi-year resistance and support zone. It's been touched multiple times. It was support here in 2021 in January, support in June and July of 2021, and again in January of 2022. And then it became resistance here in June of 2022, and then resistance in April and July of 2023. Now we're above it. So you guys can see that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly green candles here. And from the start of those green candles, we are currently up roughly about 34.5% on Bitcoin. From the bottom to the top, the wick high there, you're talking about 40%. That's a big move. I mean, you guys need to understand, when I've tried to tell you before, when crypto moves, it really moves like quick. It's almost hard to believe. Like it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, okay, maybe crypto will move or not, but as soon as it starts ripping to the upside, everybody FOMOs in. Everybody who was like, oh yeah, crypto's dead, blah blah blah, they see it going up and they want to ape in because they want to make quick money, and that's kind of how the retail traders treat the market. It's a little unfortunate because we were buying basically back here. We've been sitting on kind of a little bit underwater in our crypto positions, waiting for the markets to go back up. But then again, we thought this would be the lows, but it wasn't. It was actually down here. So, but that's the nature of accumulating in the bear market. You might be out of the money for a little bit, but when the crypto bull run pops off, I mean, you're going to make bank because you bought all the way down here instead of all the way up here. So anyways, with that being said, you guys can see that the MACD is moving up. Pretty much the last time we got to these same levels on the MACD here, you can see was right here. This was a local top, and we came down quite a bit, roughly about $6,000 on Bitcoin, which easy math is about 20%. Then we also had something similar here at these levels, where we went from basically 11,000 down to roughly about 6,000. So it was about a 50% drop. And the other thing I want to point out to you guys is you can see the RSI here. You see that this top band is kind of overextended. Well, this may be the point that crypto may need to cool off a little bit. It's hard to say at this point, but the only other times that we've seen it this elevated was basically back here during the 2019 peak, in which it hit 14K and then went down to 6K. So you're talking roughly about a 60% drop. It's a pretty big drop. And then we had this one my bad. That's the MACD. So we have this one right here. This was basically about 40,000 bucks. This was after Bitcoin started ripping past its all-time high in 2021. And then you can see here we kind of have this bearish divergence. So the RSI is going down, but the price is going up. That indicates a potential reversal coming, but that was obviously in hindsight in previous history. But so where can we go from here on the current price? You guys can see we had the triple golden cross here. That's good. And we've been ripping ever since. Higher lows, higher highs. So you got your low here, low here, low here, low here, and then high, 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 higher high, and even higher high right here. Well, assuming we don't get rejected where we are right now and come back down to the bottom of the support range at 29,000 and then retest and move higher. If we just keep going straight up, the next major resistance zone is roughly about where this this big doji candle here is. You see this middle candle, that's a doji. Would be about 48,000 bucks. That would be potentially where we could get stopped at. I would say it's too early to call this right now. It's hard to say if it's going to drop or continue going up. But we do have kind of this big resistance zone here now turning into support. So that's bullish. So we'll take a look at the Google Trends. This is the crypto version for the 5-year time frame. The reason why we do 5 years is because crypto is on a 4-year cycle. You can see that crypto itself is starting to move back up a little bit, but we're obviously very, very far away from these all-time highs here, between 69 to 100. You can see that the numbers are not as low during this previous bear market as they were in 2020. So your average here is roughly about, I'd say pretty much 10 to 15, somewhere in there. So we're slightly above that. When you see this thing start to curl up like this, like you do right here, that's a pretty good indication that it may move higher, but obviously nothing's a guarantee. As for Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin, we're currently sitting at, I'm trying to get it to work there. And there we go, 21. We were at a 25, it looks like. So in the 2019 bear market, we were basically sitting somewhere between 10 to 20-ish during the entire time frame. This time around, it's roughly about 15 to 25, it looks like. So if we can get above, I would say this peak right here, 25 and roughly about 37, I would say that's pretty much probably going to moonshot after that. So we'll look at crypto and fear, or fear and greed index for crypto. As you guys can see, last month we were in the fear zone. Obviously, we've had 4 major weekly green candles here. So we flipped from fear last month to now we're in the greed zone at the lovely number of 69. And so it could go higher, it could go lower. Based on the charts, I would say there's a good chance we could go higher, although we may end up like retesting this low down here at 32,000 and then start to move up. It's hard to say at this point. The MVRV is moving up, so we're no longer in the green zone here. The green zone is the most ideal time to buy, as you can see throughout history here on Bitcoin's price chart. The MVRV, I would say, is a really extremely accurate indicator for timing the bottoms. I don't necessarily know about timing the tops, but timing the bottoms definitely, and getting the best possible price for your money. So this is the Bitcoin rainbow chart. You guys can see that we're slowly moving up here. We're basically in the looks like the lime green box, so accumulate. So where could this top out? Well, you guys can see that it's kind of slowly topping out lower and lower throughout time. So this could possibly top out in the orange at some point in the future. Let's say that Bitcoin's, well, we'll say it goes up to this. I would say maybe FOMO intensifies range in probably sometime around maybe mid 2025. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly when it's going to top out. But if we get into that darker orange color, you could be looking at $160,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin. So here is the full list of the current spot Bitcoin ETFs. I don't know if this is still accurate or not. The SEC and these other companies have kind of been on the hush hush about it. They haven't really told the media a lot. We haven't really heard a lot. So All we know is that, as you guys can see under the third deadlines here, we are sitting at a deadline right now for ARK Invest. I've heard something about an 8-day window to review applications and potentially approve them are happening right now. I'm not sure where that information is coming from, but we'll just have to wait and see. But your deadlines are basically pretty much this month and then all the way out in January and March. So basically, if you have crypto currently or Bitcoin or something like that, and you're expecting your bags to moonshot, keep these deadlines in line, which would be this month, January, and March of next year. Keep in mind, March of next year is 1 month before the Bitcoin halving. So there's one more indicator we're going to take a look at here, and we're going to try to do this for you guys once a week, basically until the end of the bull market. So that way we can kind of show you guys, in case you don't have this charting software, to what's going on in the crypto market. So Pi cycle Bitcoin top indicator, that's what we want to look at here. So we have not seen a flash signal on that, and that's pretty much a given. I mean, we're sitting like, I would say, what, 131% off the highs. We're still roughly about looks like still roughly about halfway from the highs. So we're not going to see the Pi cycle top indicator happen until Bitcoin's well past its previous all-time highs. It's not going to show up at 70,000. I'm pretty certain of that. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, that's typically not what's happened throughout history. It's always usually what happens is the halving will happen, and then the price of Bitcoin will blast off past its previous all-time highs, previous market cycle top, and then at some point when it's getting to the point where it's going to top out, then this indicator will pop up and let you know that this basically pretty much is the top. As you guys can see here, in 2017 we had it, and in 2021, and also in this really microscopic peak you almost can't even see here back in 2013. So this is another website we use. It's called coingecko.com. There's another version of this called coinmarketcap.com that you guys can look at. This is pretty much where your full list of cryptos are going to be. We're looking at this website every single day to kind of see what's going on with the markets, constantly tracking it 24/7, day in, day out. We've been doing this the entire bear market. So, well, I should say basically once we thought that Bitcoin was bottomed out, and we've been looking at this ever since. So this is where you can kind of look for altcoins to buy and maybe look at the price, see what's appealing, what's not, whatever you want to do with it. So some of the altcoin positions that we're going to tell you guys for the first time that we own besides the Grayscale ETFs is we'll just take a look at a few. So one of the main ones that we own is Doge. So this is considered to be a meme coin, but it's one of Elon Musk's favorite coins, or so it would seem, because he was really talking about it a lot in the previous bull market. So, but pretty much what you guys can see here is we did have kind of what look like a bullish or bearish divergence here. So you got this green downtrend line, and then this uptrending line that's on the RSI that's known as bullish divergence, and we are starting to move up. Major resistance here is roughly about the price that we're at now, so about 8 cents, and then you have 10 cents, and I would say probably somewhere around 15 cents would also be potential resistance areas. As you guys can see, also the Pi cycle top indicator did come in here, but that was actually not the top for Dogecoin. So I would say this is not an accurate indicator to use for one of these altcoins. But yeah, this is something that we basically had pretty much been accumulating. I would say roughly around, we accumulated pretty much roughly around 8 to 9 cents. We didn't get it perfectly. That's our cost basis on this. We have a decent amount, but I mean, in all honesty, it's not bad. If it does end up moonshotting, let's say that this thing does something really stupid and it goes up to, like, I don't know, $1.20 or something like that, because as you guys can see, Dogecoin has moved up over time. Let's just say hypothetically that it goes back to the previous all-time high. You're talking roughly about an 8x. So we'd make about an 8x on our money if it goes to $1.20. Could be taking a look at something like a 13x is possible, which would be nice. I mean, a lot of people speculate Doge is actually going to go higher than $1, so we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. Another one that we hold is, trying to think of which one I want to show you guys. So we'll go with Dash. This is another one that we hold, and a lot of people might say, oh, well, why do you hold Dash? That doesn't make any sense because it didn't do much of anything in the previous bull market. That's true. It really actually didn't do much of anything. I mean, the prices went all the way up to roughly about $480, which was great. But if you take a look at the 2017 cycle top, it topped out at 1600. So clearly it did not hit its previous all-time high. But the reason why we bought this one, and we'll show this to you guys on the chart here. So the main reason why we bought it is because it's pretty much just been sitting at this extreme low here. As you guys can see, it's roughly between 24 to about $32. You can see this wick low down here over in March of 2020. This was the pandemic low. This general area right here, 33 to $38, was the previous cycle lows. So we actually got even lower than those prices. The last time we saw prices where they are in 2023 was all the way back here in 2017. So pretty much how we're looking at this is we are saying, okay, so it's at macro support. And if we do nothing else, like let's say we hold our position, and I can tell you guys right now our average cost basis is about $38. So it's a pretty good cost basis. If it does nothing else but just goes back to this, let's say this peak right here, $250, which is possible. I mean, it would be a lower peak than this one. We're going to make a 5x on our money. Hold on a second. I actually got to try to get back to this $38 level. There we go, right there. Actually, sorry, I'm wrong about this. So we're not going to make a 5x. We're going to make a 6x our money, but our profit's going to be 5x. So if we have $1,000, then we'll make 6x. We'll make 5,000 in profit and get our initial investment back. However, let's just assume, well, okay, yeah, this is kind of hard to do because the moves up are so huge. So try to get this accurate. But basically, if it goes from our cost basis up to $1,100 or $475, my bad, we'll make an how much is this? This is about a 12x on our money. So if we have $1,000 invested in this, we're going to make 12,000. So that's something to keep in mind. Another one that we have is Filecoin. Our cost basis on this, I believe, is roughly about $9. So we got in here thinking it was going to go higher. It did not, and that's okay. Because, again, the cycle top on Filecoin is absolutely massive. It's at $236. So do some simple math on this. 236 divided by $9. So you get about a 26x. We'll say we have 1,500 in this times a 26x. You can see that it's worth it. I mean, that's a pretty substantial gain. It's not like millions, but it's a start, right? So anyways, this is our weekly analysis video on what's going on with Bitcoin. Hope y'all enjoyed this new content that we're going to do. Again, we're going to try to do it every week for you guys as we, the bull market revs up and we get into kind of the more FOMO, moon boy kind of vibes going on in the market. So yeah, let us know if you guys have any Bitcoin or if you guys plan on buying alts or some ETFs or whatever y'all do. And if you have any questions or like any requests on tokens or anything like that, let us know. We'll try to do something for you. And yeah, so anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.